Real nigga shit. Bring the ice out, bring the pipes out. Pop a perk, 30, fuck a bitch life out. Talking about right now, I'ma bite down. If I take my chain off, I probably cut the lights out. Niggas hate to say you win when you already won. That's why every time I'm here, know I gotta keep my gun. Hate to admit it when you already won it for the Lord. Every motherfucker DJ Don G.
So to start, I'm just start off with my measurements, and I'm going to record them in this little journal. So I'm just going to record my waist. For my waist belt, I am going to go under my armpits and down to how far I want my front panel to stop. And then I'll also measure for my back panel. And if you're dragging a little wagon or a big one, child, you want to make sure that you go around your bum, because you want to make sure that you have enough room for, like, if you bend down or bend over, you want to allow extra inches for that. And for your choker, you can just take a choker that you already have and then measure. First, I'm just measuring the choker itself, and then I'm going to go back and measure the extension chain, the part that's on the end. And now I'm just taking the whole panel and I'm just laying it out, and I'm making sure that I have enough room, length and width wise. So that's what I'm doing here. I was just trying to make sure that I have the 18 inches across. And I was making sure that it was long enough for my front and my back panel. Because as you can see, this is literally all the panel that you have to work with. So if you are a large, extra large, you would probably need 2 panels. But if you kind of small, you can get away with 1. But just to be on the safe side, I measured it first, and then I went head on and measured out the inches of my back panel. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out very gently. Now that I have my back panel cut out, I'm going to go ahead and measure out my front panel and cut it out as well. And now with the leftover pieces, I'm go ahead and start measuring out the piece for my choker and my waist belt. And for the choker piece, really for both of them, I ended up taking one of the ribbon clasps to see what the width of that was, so that I can make sure that I cut the band and the choker properly to fit within the means of that ribbon clasp. Now moving on to the choker, what I did was I took a ribbon clasp and I attached it to the crystals, and then I put on a jump ring and then a lobster clasp after that. But to make it easier on yourself, go ahead and that's a lobster clasp. But go ahead and put your jump ring onto your ribbon clasp and then the lobster clasp onto your jump ring and then attach your ribbon clasp onto the crystals. It'll be a lot easier, and you will not be able to do this with your bare hands. You're going to need some type of jewelry making utensils or pliers to open those jump rings and also to close them. After you completed one end, we're going to go ahead and get our extension chain prepped and cut out its proper measurements for the opposite end. And you will go ahead and attach your ribbon clasp, a jump ring, and then you're going to attach your extension chain to your jump ring. So that's what I'm doing here. And for my waist belt, I just attached a jump ring to a ribbon clasp, and then I attached a lobster clasp to the jump ring, and then I attached the ribbon clasp onto the end of the crystals. I did that to both ends, and that was it for the waist belt. And now I'm just going in and see how far I want my dress to drape down. And then I'm going to go back and measure from like armpit to armpit. So that's kind of just like where I eyeballed it at. So I don't know. That's where my drape was. So that's where I measured. And I'm just going to take my chains and I'm going to cut them to the measurements, and I'm going to add lobster clasps on each end, and that is how I'm going to hold up the dress. So now I'm just seeing how it holds up. 3 chains was enough for me, but if you have like big boobs or something, you may need 4 or 5 chains, but however many you think that you need for a dress to be secure, then you do that, sis. And then I'm gonna go in and measure from my armpits to my waist. And I'm starting at my armpits because that's where my dress is gonna start. And I'm measuring down to my waist so I know where to put my waist belt on my panel. I tried attempting to pin down the sides with straight pins, but they weren't strong enough. So you'll have to get safety pins and just pin them like an inch apart. And you'll be good, sis. You done, sis. Your dress is made.